different role. This is a new role for her.
Now, there are a lot of changes for these teams that we will talk about as we get ready to tip the ball up here in Oxford. And here we go as Ole Miss in their white jerseys with the cardinal red and navy blue trim. Both these teams won their first game of the year. Ole Miss beat Queens of North Carolina. Oklahoma with a win over Wichita State, and a lot of new faces here. Nevaeh Tot, the only player returning as a starter. You've got the transfers Verhulst and Lexy Keys in the lineup. Skylar Vann now in the starting lineup after winning those two Sixth Player of the Year awards, and the freshman Sahara Williams. Tamika hits that defense of Ole Miss against the high-scoring offense of Oklahoma. It's going to be an interesting one tonight as the first shots of the game will go up.
Turnovers was an issue. First possessions are turnovers, so I know that's something that coach is going to be, it has already been harping on. It takes care of the basketball.
Three-pointer, Lexy Keys, the transfer from Oklahoma State, and Verhulst, the transfer from Louisville, gets the rebound. And this Ole Miss team and Oklahoma played last year, but Oklahoma still won.
They're in different roles. What happened last year was last year, but one thing that Coach Yell said about this is we don't lose at home. And so there's a lot of, I wouldn't say tension, but there's a lot of expectation from this team. Literally have to box out and push back.
KK Deans at the free throw line. She led Florida in scoring last year. Richardson started as a freshman for Auburn, and Kennedy Todd Williams was the second leading scorer for North Carolina and a starter the last 2 years. And coming into this system, everybody has been talking about how they have just fit in amazingly in their first minutes in. Nice backdoor cut, and that's a score from Skylar Vann to knot it up.
And Vann does a great job of setting the play up, making sure that the ball was reversed as she made that backdoor cut, and a great finish.
Driving hard into the lane, Marquisha Davis. These teams play a lot of players, and they plan to all year. Skylar Vann.
Well, I like the confidence. I like the pace of that move. Vann just taking her time.
Scott missing, and it's off Ole Miss.
Well, you're going to see a nice little rotation from the Ole Miss side, but you got to give credit to Vann taking the ball to the basket, trying to get players in foul trouble. And in the last three possessions, she's been the one shooting, so you could tell Oklahoma, they want the ball in her hands.
Steal by Oklahoma. Nevaeh Tot has a 2-on-1. Lexy Keys scores in transition.
And I know you might think that some of these rotations and some of these substitutions are coming because of foul trouble, but this is how Oklahoma likes to play, and that is a great shot. KK Dean, that is what she did last year at Florida. She is able to three-point threat no matter where she is on the court. You always got to be ready.
Verhulst too strong on that attempt, and Ole Miss pushing in traffic. Good defense inside by Allen. And Ole Miss with another opportunity.
Talked about is, you know, she's still around. She still comes to practice. You hear her voice. She's kind of like another coach on the sidelines.
In the first game of the year against Queens of North Carolina, she led the way with 7. Spinning in traffic, tough shot.
Took it right to the basket.
The foul was called on Ole Miss. First free throw, Jenny Baranchek said, we want to see how Raina Scott, he was a freshman last year, and so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the course of the game.
Well, and I love the point that you just made, Brenda. She stayed here. She played behind a few players last year, but you got to understand.
The foul here sending KK Deans to the free throw line. Of course, KK started at West Virginia, so she's very familiar with going against the Sooners. So she did when she played for West Virginia, and then she went to Florida last year, was the leading scorer for the Gators before transferring here to Ole Miss. She puts up the Rebels 12-9.
I'm interested
Dean
to watch.
Step back three. Oh, off the mark. She's leading the way so far for Ole Miss. Was
forcing Oklahoma to have to slow down a bit, but that was a great backdoor cut.
And the defense was on full display as Ole Miss just, so the Rebels so much hope for this year, the way they ended the year.
game, whether you're cheering for either one of these teams, you're excited about what these teams and what the coaches are going to instill in their players every single possession.
Oklahoma hasn't scored in the last 4 minutes. The new faces for the Sooners, we've talked about Verhulst, who had transferred from Louisville to the rival Oklahoma, and then the two freshmen, Sahara Williams and Landry Allen.
Staple players to build your program around, and that's how you grow, right? You want to be a great team. You want to have the opportunity, great opportunity on both sides. It's a great opportunity with so many new faces to continue to build your program, but to see these players get the opportunity to get on the floor.
Neither team shooting very well from the floor right now. They're getting most of their points from the free throw line. A lot of fouls called, 13 combined fouls.
They were challenged in that first half. Coach really credited coming out in that third quarter. But this is a different team than that. And I think for both teams having to go.
Scott missing that one.
Yeah, back and forth. This is what you want to see, the pace of the game flow. I want to see Oklahoma space the floor a little bit better and instead of trying to get the field goal, take the ball to the basket and get an easy look like Vann.
There you go. There you go. She knew what you were saying, Tamika. Wanted to do the right thing. Good job.
Well, we do wear the same number, so I think we have that the intuition right there.
There you go. There you go. 6-0 run for Oklahoma. That was the first field goal in a long time as they take the lead, and Scott Davis answering back to give Ole Miss the lead, and the shot clock is off. And a turnover. Davis using that length.
Ole Miss gonna try to hold last 10 seconds.
And the ball in the hands of KK Dean. She is the floor general, the extension of Coach Yo on the floor. Uses the screen. No. But the Rebels will go into the first quarter break with the 1-point lead.
I think it takes the first month to really figure out, okay, who are your top teams? Who are your top teams? Who are those teams that you need to be watching? But it varies from game to game.
Well, and it's so hard because of all the transfers. I mean, these teams are going to look so different. How are the transfers going to gel? There's a transfer right there. Verhulst taking it all the way.
As far as body type, so you're going to drive against her, but you got to protect that ball because she's coming for it.
Oklahoma keeps Ole Miss off the boards, and they're out running. Verhulst kicks it underneath to Culleton. Baseline shot, short, but an offensive rebound. Know each other from their growing up years. Culleton in her sophomore year at the line for Ole Miss. Ole Miss has just continued to
space the floor, play together, and move the ball.
And I mentioned on the other end of the court, Peyton Verhulst picked up her second foul.
Ole Miss not able to keep the rotation, keep their defensive principles going, and I think that goes with consistency, that goes with having those players, and even as a team, having that core group of players that is like, this is how we're going to keep moving the ball and keep working together. They have had years where they've struggled with shooting, and I think it's a great three-point shot earlier in the first quarter. Different hasn't been able to knock one down yet. So you're trying to find your offensive system. You're trying to find your offensive flow. And I think that's what Ole Miss has struggled with.
Ball movement for Oklahoma. Still tough shooting for Ole Miss as Thompson back irons it.
I think they're trying to get one step closer. Great drive, straight to the basket. Oklahoma, you've seen, they are attacking the basket. They're getting those open looks. Good job right there, Ole Miss. And a good job. Look at the spacing that they have. Spreading out the floor, but they're attacking the basket.
Well, Johnson missing on that drive, the 6'4" sophomore from Duncanville, Texas. You might know somebody from there, right?
Todd Williams able to knock down the three, finds a wide open look.
And out to Aubrey Jones. Tamika, what is it do you think that Ole Miss needs to be doing better to get into some kind of flow offensively? There they use the ball. As she is tended to on the end of the Oklahoma bench. Ashley Jones, of course, was Aubrey's older sister, the Big 12 Player of the Year last year for Iowa State.
Yeah, I love the way Oklahoma is playing. I love how they're spacing the floor, finding those backdoor cuts, and when you have the floor spaced that wide, it's hard for the help defender to get over.
And that's how you have to attack a team like Ole Miss, right? With as much as they pressure.
You might have stepped on, you step on the back of somebody's heel.
Well, she is being tended to on the end of the Oklahoma bench. The foul on this end was on KK Dean, so that's another Rebel with 2 fouls. Oklahoma, Tucker made 1 of 2 free throws, and right back down the other way, Ole Miss with the shot inside by Davis.
We failed to talk about this earlier, but, one thing Coach Blanchek said is, I want 5. I think sometimes when you go down that initial pain, you hope that it's nothing serious, and when you walk it off, it's like, okay, I got this.
Right? I know. I mean, I played a long time ago at Mizzou Arena. Should be a great night for hoops in SEC men's basketball. Not hit a shot from the floor yet, and she is such a crucial part. Still over. Pass ahead. Coach Yo at her press conference this week, when asked about Sonetta Collins coming off the bench.
Rain game, that jump shot that she just took, that could be another element to her game. It just makes her hard to guard.
Scott goes inside to the freshman. Good defense by Richardson. For Ole Miss to hit its stride.
Well, definitely, but you got to like what you see a little bit, even from the 3. So not shooting the ball exceptionally well, but they fight, they compete, they get on the board, they hustle. I said, I like your hair. You always got to go there. We always have different hairstyles.
A miss point blank for Oklahoma. Williams at the rim, and Ole Miss with a chance to take the lead, and they do with a 3-pointer.
Wow, Carissa Richardson, your post player, stepped into a 3-point shot, knocked it down with confidence.
Driving, and then another foul. Too many fouls for Ole Miss. Big 3-pointer for the sophomore from Douglasville, Georgia. She led Auburn in block shots last year as a freshman. A lot of confidence in this young woman to do great things here at Ole Miss. Skylar Vann answers back with a couple of free throws to quietly give Oklahoma the lead back, and we're at the 1-minute mark in the second quarter, and now we got some scoring going back and forth.
Well, Snutter stepping into that shot, feeling her confidence, but let's go back. Vann now first player to get in double digits, 12 points right now, or 11 points, excuse me. Seen her shoot the 3, we've seen her drive it in, sometimes out of control, but that mid-range game for her in particular is going to be huge.
And a whistle. And traveling. All right, about a 7-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Tot dribbling into traffic, double team, kicks it out, but she travels.
Pull the ball back out, reverse the ball, but definitely not a turnover in this moment.
Shot where the clock is winding down in the half. Davis almost loses it and then misses the shot. Ole Miss started the second quarter 0 for 6.
She can go to work, rise above whoever's guarding her, to do a nice little turnaround jump shot.
They go to Verhulst, who was out for the last part of the second quarter with a couple of fouls. Oklahoma missed 6 of their last 9 shots in the second quarter. Conversely, the Rebels made 7 of their last 11. So Ole Miss started figuring it out. and they also had 14 offensive rebounds to only 7 for Oklahoma. So even though they're shooting a lower percentage, they have been able to get second chance shots, and good ball movement sets up the shot from the corner for Todd Williams.
Yes, you saw the patience. That's something that Ole Miss did not have in the first half. Moving the ball, finding the open player, and that's a great shot. Those three-point shots, sometimes if they're taken too early on the shot clock, they're not good shots. You got to move the ball.
Sahara Williams takes her time on that one, hits the shot, but it'll be interesting if that comes into play. There's the first basket of the game for Scott, and she slaps her hands together like, let's go, it's about time.
Well, that was a great screen. They set up a screen away from the ball for her to come to the ball. She got great positioning right underneath the basket where a mini circle is underneath the basket, and I think that was a great place for her to be.
Now, Verhulst got the ball inside, and I saw the defender falling out of it, but I guess it did not rise to the point of faking like you were fouled. So I didn't see the signal from the official, but Oklahoma quickly down the court to Williams, and she has an opportunity for an and one.
Well, Oklahoma doing a great job of getting the ball up. You see the transition buckets, and if you run the floor, they will find you. Williams great in front of Maddie Williams.
She goes to talk to the freshman about, we were checking to see if that Rose Johnson, along with Aubrey Jones, Landry Allen, for Oklahoma. Good to see her back in. Oklahoma out to Aubrey Jones, too strong. And Snetta Collins with the rebound. Collins pushing, and she draws
her offensive weapons.
Collins makes the first free throw. You mentioned Maddie Scott, though, just made her first basket, her first field goal of the game a few moments ago. Yeah, she has not had the kind of scoring night you would expect. Backdoor cut, Williams, strong move for the freshman.
Well, I like what Oklahoma does. They send one of the guards through the middle of the lane to the opposite side, and as a defender, your responsibility is always to see the ball, but those backdoor cuts are consistent, and Carissa Richardson showing a little bit of versatility, now putting the ball on the floor from the three-point line down, and we've seen her score at different levels.
Ball goes to Ole Miss, then back to Oklahoma, then the block.
I like this right here. Look at Richardson. Coach Yo said she wants Richardson for people to be able to see her shine on the big stage, and she has stepped up in a couple of different ways.
10 on the shot clock. They go inside to Richardson. Spins. No, not this time. Hosting Florida in our SEC Saturday night matchup. We mentioned the transfer from Auburn. She was a starter last year as a freshman. 4:46 remaining in the third quarter. Ole Miss up by 2. Oklahoma with a chance to tie or take the lead with this possession. Good switching defense for Ole Miss. Skylar Vann travels top, running the point for Ole Miss. And Williams clears the rebound. Look at the freshman push it out ahead. Skylar Vann quickly up the court. Collins way off the mark. And here comes Nevaeh Tot out to Lexy Keys. Keys puts it on the floor in traffic, and she draws.
Facing on the floor, the ways that they have scored is when they have played together and moved the ball around.
To the free throw line. Keys, the transfer from Oklahoma State, makes both free throws.
Well, she's doing some good things out there. I mean, she's a great presence. She's been aggressive. She hasn't forced anything.
Keys strips the ball away from Maddie Scott. We've had 11 lead changes and 6 ties in this game.
Even on a make where the point guard is, where Tot normally stands, it's further up the court, so they're always looking at pushing the ball. Got a couple transition buckets off of that.
And Lexy Keys hits the 3 on the inbounds play, stretching the lead out to 5. Scott needs to go to work here. She does. Too strong, but she is fouled.
Look at that screen right there. Great job. Keys wide open.
That three-pointer gave Oklahoma a 7-0 run. But Maddie Scott at the free throw line. Madison Scott for her second free throw. Short. Bounces around into the hands of KK Dean. Collins leading the way for Ole Miss with 13 points. Kennedy Todd Williams has 11. Those are the two players in double figures. And Richardson not able to get that one to go. On the other side, Sahara Williams has 11. She and Skylar Vann with 15 are the two players in double figures for the Sooners.
Look at right here. Ole Miss trying to push the ball. Smutter Collins. Nice little fake turnaround jump shot.
She's got 15 now, 4 of 10 from the field. Still hasn't hit a three-pointer. 0 for 4 from three-point range, but has made 7 free throws. Nevaeh Tot changes gears, and Richardson says, oh no.
Continuing to move the ball.
Inbounds play. Vann misses that time, tracks down her own rebound, and then a steal inside as they try to deliver to Culleton. On the break, KK Deans to Smith, but an offensive rebound for Ole Miss. They're going to try to get, they're really going to try to get Scott the basketball inside, you can see.
Well, Maddie Scott right now, I feel like she's been playing fast, and it's going to be a jump.
Last year, Maddie Scott averaged 11.5 points a game, 8 rebounds, was selected all SEC second team, and was on the SEC defensive team as well. She's preseason first team all SEC, but has not been able to get going in this game against Oklahoma. All tied up at 56.
Oh, that's her second.
A couple of fouls. We haven't seen a lot of her in this game, but Marquisha Davis, such an important scorer, misses that free throw. And those, we talk about the newcomers, and there are some impact newcomers for Ole Miss, but a lot of returners as well. Side of the basket for Aubrey Jones of Oklahoma.
Aubrey Jones, you could tell she was going to the basket. She now has 9 points. Great heads-up play. Nobody switched on her. She kept going.
Oklahoma takes back the lead with that one as we approach the 1 minute mark remaining in the third quarter. So if you see somebody in that arc drawing a charge, an offensive foul, that is the rule this year, because the arc is now just that area right under the basket.
And try to recondition your mind out of that, right? You're going to see a lot of players pointing down. So it's no longer to affect. What a drive.
Finding your way through defenders. Let's watch that again.
1, 2, and somehow she managed to get through the trees to the other side. It's a great finish.
Well, this bench for Oklahoma and this team, they have to be very happy with the way they play. They're coming in. Ole Miss is ranked 12th in the country. Oklahoma not only graduated 3 great scorers, but also had Liz Scott go out with an injury. They're playing with a lot of new players and trying to find some chemistry here early in the year. And they're playing really well on the road right now.
Yeah, they are. They are playing together. They're playing hard. They're fighting. They knew that this was going to be a big challenge for them, but I love the fight that they're showing.
And they get the steal. Aubrey Jones gets it off to Skylar Vann. Skylar Vann, let's take a look at what she has done tonight. 15 points, 6 of 12 from the field. She made a three-pointer, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 6th player of the year in the Big 12 Conference each of the last 2 years. The only player in Big 12 history to have that designation. And her numbers off the bench the last couple of years have been really impressive. And now she's in that starting lineup in a different role for Oklahoma. 8 seconds remaining. Tamika. The clock is winding down here in the third quarter. Ole Miss needs to get a shot up. and they're not able to, as Ole Miss had the lead at halftime, but Oklahoma...
They're going to be a lot different than what we even see today.
Yeah, that's for sure. They are the co-defending champions in the Big 12. They shared that title with Texas last year. Ole Miss finished 4th in the SEC last year against Oklahoma, as Sahara Williams able to score on that nice drive. She's got 13 now.
Third quarter, they totally shifted after halftime, put the press on. I feel like it's been the fourth for KK Dean. She is an energy player. You know, one thing also Coach Yo talked about is just trying to train her mentality into like a winner's mentality. Unfortunately, she hasn't had a lot of success in being able to total rebound, but you've seen Oklahoma have an emphasis on making sure they get the box out and keep them off the boards, especially the offensive boards.
Instead of Collins. Good catch there. Sorry about that. Todd Williams. What Collins and Scott can do.
Well, sometimes last year when you look at their team, Angel Baker, Maya Taylor, smaller guards.
Yeah, 15 turnovers in this game. Ole Miss with 12. On the other end, it was Culleton with a couple of free throws. That was the third foul on Maddie Scott. Ole Miss right now has 4 players with 3 fouls. Todd Williams, Collins, Scott, and Richardson. Slicing through the defense. Collins not able to score this time. A little ragged right now on both ends. And it'll stay on this end. Oklahoma basketball.
I saw the family photo with the whole squad, the whole Vann squad. Ole Miss got lucky on that one because that would have been a direct pass to Aubrey Jones straight for the layup.
What does Ole Miss need to do to start chipping away here? PN app. Ole Miss had the lead at halftime for Ole Miss, but they've got an uphill battle right now.
Yeah, they do, and they're getting to the free throw line. You look at it, they've gotten to the free throw line 27 times. They're 17 for 27, 63.
All of the media relations people across the country that do so much to get us information ahead of time. Josh Poteet is the media relations person for Oklahoma, and we always appreciate it as we prepare for games, all of the information that the media relations professionals provide us. So a big shout out to them.
Yeah, big thank you, because it makes our job so much easier.
For sure.
Brendan, how long have you been doing this?
This is my 29th year of broadcasting women's basketball. How about that? Almost 3 decades.
I only asked because as we're talking about SIDs, I was just trying to figure out where you got the information from before. I'm Coach Bruncheck. I'm happy that my team came into this environment with this team, especially just the way Ole Miss plays. They play aggressive. They're going to be up on you. They're going to get in the passing lane. With so many new players and so many new players in different roles, and continues to dominate. 19 points now. I think it's hard to figure out who should be where at this point. It's too early.
Good answer for Ole Miss. But there's a look at the Big 12 preseason poll. Texas up at the top. Texas and Oklahoma will be in the SEC next year. Kansas, the defending WNIT champion. Kansas State has Aoka Lee back in their lineup. It's going to be a tough battle again at the top of the Big 12 conference this year. And Iowa State won the Big 12 tournament title last year, but boy, they had a lot of graduation and transfers, so they're just outside of the mix right now. And how about Skylar Vann? The night that she has had, celebrating her sister signing with Oklahoma, going to join her in the future, but she has just been tearing it up tonight.
Oh, my goodness. I love watching her play, and you see that smile, like, okay, she's talking a little trash out there. But you have a reason to talk trash when you can finish it up and you can finish the play. 21 points, 8 for 17 from the field goal, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Can you just say enough about what she has brought tonight, coming into this environment, being able to play at the level that she played?
And she's a leader. She and Nevaeh Tot, the two people that have had a lot of experience in the past for Oklahoma, along with their transfers coming in. They've all contributed here, knocked off the number 1 seed Stanford with their stifling defense. And this Oklahoma team, number 2 in the nation last year in points per game, only behind Iowa for points per game. And they're showing they're going to be able to put up a lot of points again this year as Skylar Vann just continues. She's mentioned just put the players in tough situations where they have to come together, and they've been impressive here on the road because this is not an easy place to play. Oklahoma can use all of the clock on this one as Verhulst hoists it up. Must have caught a little bit of the rim. They were struggling from the field early but hitting free throws, but they're going to leave here shooting 44%. And this win for Oklahoma is their first non-conference road win over a ranked opponent, or Jenny Baranczyk, to 4-0 against SEC opponents.
Yeah,
third straight season. Yeah, go ahead, Tamika.
No, it's a big confidence boost, too. When you have a team like this, we've talked about Liz Scott being out. We've talked about players that have graduated and just like the super seniors that were here. This is a big win for this team.
Ole Miss turns him over in the backcourt. There are a lot of bright spots, though. You mentioned it, Tamika. 4 in double figures. Richardson looked really strong tonight, but this one tonight will go to the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma Sooners got Ole Miss in Norman last year, and they come to Oxford and get the 10-point victory as Jenny Baranczyk and Coach Yo shake hands.